the sensation and national treasure of the Philippines, Alex Eala. I could never achieve that level of practicality, that kind of personal insight. After our talk, my admiration for her has only deepened. A massive fan. This endorsement comes from Andy Roddick, a former #1 player in the world. Sure what? Hello to everyone. You are a true asset to the game of tennis, and you are bringing all of your supporters along with you. The champion of the 2003 U.S. Open, a man with 43 years of life experience and decades immersed in the world of professional tennis. And his praise was for a 20-year-old from Manila who prompted him to reevaluate his understanding of composure under intense strain. Alex Eala joined Roddick's podcast right after a punishing 3-hour and 20-minute contest in Miami. She left the interview having prompted a former Grand Slam winner to make a startling public admission. The Served with Andy Roddick episode was released on March 25th, recorded during the Miami Open as Eala was processing a difficult round of 16 loss to Karolina Muchova. As is widely known, every Filipino supporter follows each tournament she competes in, including her latest appearance in Linz, Austria. When she sat for that talk, she was ranked 46th globally, having slid from a career best of 29 just 9 days before. This week, she is kicking off her 2026 clay court season at the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open. A challenging draw awaits. She's already on site in Linz for the event, which is celebrating its 35th year. She could face previous Grand Slam victors in the opening rounds of the tournament. Everyone is anticipating her transition to this new surface. Yet something in that 30-minute conversation shifted how one of tennis's most astute observers views her potential. The WTA Tour is facing a particular challenge. It's not a major controversy or a full-blown crisis, but rather a noticeable gap. This void lies between promotion and real achievement, between young players who attract media attention and those who can endure that spotlight without breaking. It distinguishes players who are well-spoken from those who truly comprehend the importance of their message. Roddick perceives this clearly. He's witnessed promising talents collapse when faced with overwhelming popularity. He has seen national icons falter under the immense duty of carrying the hopes of millions. Through numerous interviews, he's learned to tell the difference between polished PR and true self-knowledge. And then he had a discussion with Alex Eala. The discussion that took place wasn't the usual scenario of a legend endorsing a promising newcomer. It became a candid admission from a tennis great on his own show that the 20-year-old he was speaking to had a trait he never possessed at her age. In his follow-up segment with co-host John Wertheim, Roddick framed their discussion with Eala as a masterclass in self-perception. He didn't just say she was advanced for her years or had great potential, he called it a personal lesson for him. He said, "Here I am at 43 years old after a long career in tennis, and I realize I could never have been so level-headed, so self-aware, especially while navigating the whirlwind of fame and the duties that come with it." This storm of fame and sense of duty, Roddick wasn't just talking about press events or social media management. He was referring to the weight of an entire country's hopes on her shoulders, with every single mistake under constant scrutiny. Eala is the pioneering Filipino player to crack the WTA Top 100, make a WTA 1000 semifinal, and enter the top 30 rankings. 115 million Filipinos follow every single match she plays. Her losses are intensely analyzed, and her wins feel like national celebrations. And the man who once bore the weight of American tennis says she handles that pressure with a poise he lacked in his best years. The proof was on full display in Miami. On March 19th, she fought a 3-hour and 20-minute marathon with Laura Siegemund. After dropping the first set, she battled back, winning the second in a tiebreak and ultimately taking the match. Despite it being the lengthiest match of her professional life, she left the court with the composure of someone who had just wrapped up a practice. A mere 2 days later, she beat Magdalene 6-3-7-6. It was an efficient and clinical win with no sign of a hangover from the prior emotional marathon. Her momentum was halted in the round of 16, where Muchova handed her a 6-0-6-2 defeat. That sort of dominant loss can reveal every flaw and make an athlete question if they truly belong at the top tier. Eala suffered that loss on March 23rd. By March 25th, she was talking with Roddick, dissecting the mental game with such clarity, it caused a former World #1 to pause and reflect. Longtime supporters who tracked her journey understood what many others didn't. This wasn't just good luck or a momentary surge in performance. This was an athlete who was fully aware of her responsibilities from the start. Roddick just gave voice to what her supporters already knew. He referred to her as her nation's pioneer, then made a statement that ignited the tennis media. "She is such a tremendous gift to us." Meaning a gift not just for her country, but for the entire sport and its audience. "I was impressed with her even before we spoke," Roddick went on to say. "After our talk, I admire her even more." A huge supporter, it's impossible to praise her contributions to the sport enough. Andy Roddick isn't someone who offers praise casually. He's a winner of 32 ATP titles and was ranked #1 in the world for 13 weeks. He competed in 4 Grand Slam finals, emerging as the champion in one of them. Since retiring in 2012, he has cultivated a reputation as a trusted media voice over the last decade, specifically because he avoids praising players he feels don't deserve it. Therefore, when Roddick describes someone as a gift to the game, it's not a mere promotional statement. This was more than just podcast chatter. It was a past champion putting his credibility on the line for a player's integrity, and he backed it up. He detailed his reasons, her sharp self-perception, her practical mindset, and her knack for staying grounded amid a hurricane of publicity. These are not qualities you get from media coaching. You cannot feign these traits in a 30-minute show. Roddick has spoken to countless athletes. He can tell what is genuine. He looked at Eala and recognized something: the WTA is starved for a young phenom who gets that ability without wisdom, is just potential. This is bigger than one athlete's career path. It's about the tour's need to fuel its boom in Asia, where viewership is surging, but homegrown icons are still scarce. Eala must now prove her hardcourt triumphs can be replicated on clay. This week it's Linz, Stuttgart. In a fortnight then, Madrid with Roland Garros looming in late May. Every tournament director in Europe is watching. Not for the heartwarming tale, but because she fills seats, mobilizing Filipino supporters into cities unfamiliar with that diaspora passion and providing the WTA what it cannot create itself: a young, bankable, and mentally tough star who thrives under pressure. That high praise from Roddick fast-tracks everything. When a former major winner publicly backs you, sponsors call, and getting wildcards becomes much less of a challenge. She's now viewed as the tour's heir apparent, not just a hopeful. The expectations have officially gone global past Asia. Eala bears the weight of worldwide anticipation, but her recent interviewer believes this rare 20-year-old is equipped for it. Her defeat in Miami was a demolition. A 6-0, 6-2 result can shatter any top athlete's ego. Against the 13th seed, Eala was taken apart in less than 60 minutes. Without a single excuse or blaming her schedule, she internalized the defeat, packed up, and focused on her next tournament. That's the level-headedness Roddick was referring to. It's the power to contextualize a loss within the grander narrative, the epic 3-hour and 20-minute match, Roddick's bold claim. He went beyond praise, admitting she has a quality he was missing: a keen self-knowledge amid the whirlwind, a grounded approach while shouldering a country's dreams. It's a type of composure you can't learn from a book, but those with experience can spot it immediately. The women's tour desperately needed this specific kind of athlete at this very time. Then she entered Roddick's studio and confirmed she was the one. The clay court season kicks off this week in Linz. We don't need to ask if Eala can take the heat. Roddick has settled that question. What remains to be seen is if her competitors are prepared for what she's bringing. Can Alex Eala make her hardcourt supremacy work on clay, or will the dirt highlight the vulnerabilities Muchova exploited in Miami? We follow every chapter of the narratives the major outlets are just catching up to. Hit subscribe. This is the athlete Roddick described as a blessing to tennis. Every contest she plays from now on contributes to that narrative. Her first clay tournament is this week.